My God. Meghan Markle just did it again. Just when you thought she might finally chill, vanish into her Montecito mansion, sip on organic tea, and meditate away the drama, nope. She storms back into the headlines, guns blazing, with yet another messy scandal that absolutely nobody asked for. This time, it's all about that viral video. And honey, this wasn't a cute comeback. This was a total meltdown in motion. So what happened? Buckle up. Meghan Markle, yes, that Meghan, randomly decided to bless Instagram with a super weird throwback clip of herself dancing. Yep, full-on awkward shimmying to some old-school hip-hop, and wait for it, this was allegedly from 4 years ago when she was pregnant. Just out of the blue, no caption, no context, just Meghan like, huh? Did she think this was gonna make her look spontaneous, relatable, maybe edgy and unbothered? Because girl, it backfired harder than her podcast cancellation. Let's be honest, if a random mom on TikTok posted this, it would have gotten like 14 likes and been forgotten in 2 hours. But this is Meghan Markle. Everything she does is under a giant royal microscope. And when she hit post, boom, the internet imploded. Not with love, not with yas, queen praise, oh no. It went viral for all the wrong reasons. Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, people were clowning her left and right. And the means? Instant, ruthless, merciless. But that was just the beginning. Behind the scenes, Netflix. Yes, Netflix, the very company that signed her to a multi-million-dollar content deal, was in full-blown panic mode. Because while Meghan thought she was serving free spirit empowerment, the suits at Netflix were seeing red. Let's not forget, she's still under contract for that ultra-serious With Love Meghan docuseries. You know, the one that's supposed to be all about motherhood, personal growth, reclaiming her voice? Well, apparently that doesn't pair well with her doing the robot while pregnant to Biggie Smalls. Netflix execs were mortified, especially Greg Peters. Yes, the same guy who had championed giving her creative space. He reportedly lost it. Internally, this wasn't just an oops. This was DEFCON 1. Why? Because Meghan isn't just some influencer doing silly dances. She's a brand representative of Netflix. Every post reflects on them. And this one? Well, this was an absolute brand disaster. So what did they do? Emergency meetings, emails flying, phones ringing off the hook. Netflix told Meghan, no sugarcoating it, take it down. Not consider removing, not let's talk, just straight up knew it. And guess what Meghan did? She said no. Yup. She doubled down. She told them she was standing her ground, that this video was her expression, that it was empowering, that it was her clapping back at all the trolls who mocked her over the years. Now, pause. Imagine being the multi-billion-dollar company that paid this woman to deliver classy, introspective content, and she hits you with, nope, I'm keeping the dance clip up. Woo! Netflix was done. Insiders say they issued a final warning. One more stunt like this, your contract's toast. Your promos, canceled. Your projects, frozen. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. First to go, the social media launch of With Love Meghan. Meghan had this whole campaign plan, behind-the-scenes clips, sit-down interviews, live Q&As. She thought she was about to own the narrative. Netflix shut it down. No more rollout, no promo, no nothing. It was like the show suddenly didn't exist. And it didn't stop there. Meghan reportedly wanted to be very hands-on in the editing process. She called it shaping the message. Netflix now calls it unauthorized meddling. So they lock her out. She's officially banned from the editing suite. That's right. Netflix wants her nowhere near post-production. They're quietly taking back control of the project and trying to salvage what's left without triggering a PR wildfire. And honey, Meghan is furious. Sources say she's been in screaming matches with Netflix execs, especially with Greg Peters trying to defend the video. But it's a lost cause. Even the folks who were once on Team Meghan are slowly backing away. Her so-called support system at Netflix vanishing, all because of one video, one cringe, awkward, totally uncalled for video. The result? Meghan Markle, who once had the whole world watching her every move with fascination, is now being seen as a liability. Netflix isn't just disappointed, they're reevaluating everything. Insiders say some board members who fought to bring Meghan on are now saying things like, she's become more trouble than she's worth. And guess what? That line, it's now echoing throughout Hollywood. Even Ted Sarandos, Netflix's top dog, got pulled into this circus. Meghan was reportedly calling him, trying to save the relationship, begging for support, but he's not returning her calls. Netflix has gone into full-on damage control. No press releases, no official statements, but internally, it's icy. Emails to Meghan, ghosted. Scheduled meetings, events, canceled. Future collabs, frozen in time. Promotional teams were instructed to de-emphasize Meghan's presence in every upcoming campaign, from a Netflix golden girl to a PR hazard, just like that. And here's where it gets juicier. Because Hollywood was watching all of this unfold, one major talent agency even sent out a quiet internal memo warning reps to steer clear of any partnerships that could carry reputational risk. Translation, don't touch Meghan Markle. She's radioactive. Meanwhile, Meghan isn't backing down. She's taking this backlash personally. Sources close to her say she's deeply hurt, misunderstood, and shocked at the public reaction. She truly thinks this video was harmless, joyful, even important. She sees it as her truth, her freedom, her way of clapping back at years of mockery and media scrutiny. But reality check? When you're under contract with a major streaming giant, freedom of expression comes with fine print. Meghan wanted to be real, but Netflix wanted results. And now they're living on different planets. Even her fans, yes, her fans, are side-eyeing her. Fan pages and forums are full of confused comments. Why now? What was the point of this? Love Meghan, but this was not it. Her once loyal defenders silently slipping away. And the memes? They've only gotten worse. People have auto-tuned it, slowed it down, mashed it up with other embarrassing clips. It's not even a dance video anymore. It's a meme factory. She's officially lost control of her own content, and the worst part, her show is still scheduled to release soon. Except now, Netflix wants to bury it. One employee even said it's going to be dumped under the radar. No fanfare. No campaign, just a quiet release hoping it fades into oblivion. The irony? The entire team behind the show is pissed. Months of work to create an introspective, thoughtful portrayal of Meghan Markle ruined. One editor even joked, "We should have just made a TikTok." And Meghan still won't delete the video. She's digging in, says she won't be silenced, that she's standing in her truth. But with every passing day, her influence is shrinking. The empire she dreamed of building, slipping. Netflix is over it. Hollywood is distancing itself. Even her friends are ghosting. And we haven't even gotten to the full fallout yet. While Meghan was busy spiraling over her expression, Netflix was busy doing some deep cleaning. Marketing decks wiped clean. Any trace of Meghan's influence scrubbed off. Press previews were delayed, media contacts were told to hold off, and internally, staffers were over it. Some employees had even started calling the whole situation the Meghan mess on Slack. Yes, it had gotten that petty, but also that real. People didn't want to be caught anywhere near the wreckage of this PR crash. And that's when it hit. Meghan had officially lost the room. Not just in the Netflix boardroom, not just on the internet, but even with the people who once called her a breath of fresh air in a stale, rehearsed industry. The brand reboot she worked so hard on, collapsing. The strong, independent, visionary narrative on life support. What began as a hopeful new chapter in her post-royal journey was now closing with the most awkward silence imaginable. There were no defenders left, no big-name allies rushing in to save her. Celine knew a better way. It was when she saw the act in Jess. Uncomfortable vibes and corporate damage control. Eventually, the media storm started to calm. You know how the internet is. Something new always takes over. But the damage, it was done. Meghan's reputation in the industry shifted overnight. She wasn't the dazzling royal rebel anymore. She wasn't the bold new voice in media. No. She had become the cautionary tale, a living example of what happens when you mix celebrity ego with corporate contracts and completely ignore the fine print. And then came the quiet drop of "With Love, Meghan." No premiere, no red carpet, no celebrity Instagram carousel. Netflix just released it. Like they were tossing a wet paper towel into the wind and hoping no one would notice it landed. And audiences barely blinked. The views were okay, but not great. Definitely not multi-million-dollar deal great. Reviews trickled in. Critics called it performative. Critics called it confusing. Even fans who wanted to love it couldn't find the heart to care. Forums called it out for lacking substance. Some said it felt like Meghan was playing a character version of herself, one that didn't even feel authentic anymore. Still, Meghan wasn't giving up. She took to her socials again, cue the vague quotes about being your truest self and dancing through the fire and evolving through criticism. Classic post-scandal Insta energy, but people weren't buying it anymore. The likes were lower, the comments weren't as sweet, the sparkle gone. And Meghan, the woman who once dominated headlines across the globe with just a look or a word, she was suddenly fighting for relevance in a space she once ruled. And the final blow? Comedians started roasting her on late-night shows. Parody TikToks flooded For You pages. Sketches imitating her pregnant hip-hop moment became punchlines. She was no longer Meghan the movement, she was Meghan the meme. Even some of her closest celebrity allies, silent. Completely MIA. No repost, no I support your story mention. Her inner circle had shrunk fast. Publicists distancing, executives ghosting, PR advisors dipping, and the ones who did speak to her reportedly gave the same advice: lay low, take a breather, rebuild quietly. Did Meghan listen? Apparently not. Word on the inside is that she's already cooking up a comeback plan. Yep, because she's not done. She's reportedly been exploring the idea of starting her own independent media company, somewhere she won't have to answer to Netflix or anyone else. She wants to be bold, unfiltered, unapologetically Meghan. But here's the gag. Nobody's lining up to invest because, real talk, Meghan is now seen as unstable from a brand perspective. Not unstable as in messy, but as in unpredictable, uncontrollable, and too hot to touch. And in Hollywood, that's deadly. Investors want structure, they want clarity, they want ROI, not random dance clips and corporate meltdowns. Meanwhile, Netflix is still quietly cleaning up the fallout. The Meghan mess became a full-on cautionary case study in Hollywood. Execs behind closed doors are using it as an example of what not to do when you sign a star and hope they'll toe the line. And that carefully manicured Meghan Markle image, the soft lighting, the self-love narratives, the girl boss empowerment quotes, cracked. Not shattered completely, but cracked enough that it's impossible to ignore. Behind the scenes, legal murmurs began floating around. No lawsuits yet, but definitely whispers about Meghan breaching image guidelines. Her refusal to delete the video may have violated clauses in her promotional contract, which in legal terms is Netflix's golden ticket to either cut her loose quietly or hold her accountable without causing a courtroom circus. Meghan's team trying to spin it into a win, maybe even float the idea that she's being punished for being too authentic, the usual. But everyone knows the truth. If she had just deleted the video like Netflix asked, this wouldn't have turned into a full-blown PR catastrophe. But she didn't, she dug in, and that tiny act of defiance turned a blip into a media firestorm. Even Meghan's biggest critics agree on one thing: the video wasn't even that bad. Awkward, yes. Cringe, for sure, but career-ending? It didn't have to be. What ruined her was the aftermath, the refusal to listen, the entitlement, the belief that she's always right, no matter how off-base the move. That's what turned the public and the industry against her. And while Meghan may still have dreams of rebuilding, launching new platforms, speaking her truth, the question now is, will anyone be watching? Because the world has moved on. And Meghan Markle? She's no longer the royal disruptor. She's the reminder that fame doesn't guarantee control. That one Instagram post, just 30 seconds of expression, can collapse an empire if you play it wrong. And that, darling, is the real tea.